All right.
Hi everyone, here we are again, Chatter House Audio Tours in the Curfew Live. And I'm Deborah Grant, the Master Chatter and your host for these presentations. And today we have the pleasure of having Miss Renee Crichlow of React Fitness. Oh my goodness, I'm so looking forward to this. Even in just talking, Renee has so much energy, it kind of take a breath. But before I go any more into what Renee can do, I'm just going to let her tell you herself what React Fitness is all about and her passion for fitness. Renee.
Hi. Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here, Deborah. And what React Fitness is about, I am Renee Crichlow, as Deborah said, and I am a women's wellness coach. So React Fitness is really about helping women to get to a better version of themselves. So it is not just about losing weight and toning up, which I know almost every female wants to do. It is more about going a little bit deeper, and that is kind of like a byproduct, so to speak. And what I usually do is to encourage women to add some fun and spice to their lives, because really and truly, we are stressed out. We women do not take care of ourselves properly. We're always taking, yes, we're always taking care of others first and putting ourselves last. And that is what this whole React Fitness is about, helping women to realize that they are as important as the other people that they are taking care of. So with that being said, I will call them tools, the tools that I help women to free up and add fun and spice to their lives is by through dancing. And I can tell you, walking up is really what I do to soca. So through dancing, so that helps them to exercise, getting exercise, and also helps to release stress. And it is also a way for them to feel judgment free of judgment, and to express themselves. So all of that together is about reducing stress, having fun, and still exercising. The second thing is nutrition coaching. Mm-hmm. I teach women how to eat properly. And it's not just about giving somebody a meal plan and expecting them to follow through. It is showing you the steps and the ways that you can actually eat based on what you are eating right now, and use small steps to improve that whole process. The other thing is a lot of mindset coaching. I don't really push it right now, but it is something that is wrapped into everything that I do, because really and truly, if you do not have a good frame of mind, then a lot of the things that you're trying to do will not work. And I also specialize in other areas. Some of you that are watching might know me from being on TV or in the media with prenatal fitness. That is one area I specialize in, and also pelvic floor health. So that is basically me in a nutshell. And nice. I work with women because those areas are my specialties. So men out there, is not that I am purposely omitting you. It is just that the areas that I am good at are more geared towards women. And I do sometimes touch a lot on the menstrual cycle. So again, that is why it will be for women. But men, you have women in your lives too. So this will be beneficial for you to share some of that information with them.
Yes, 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 great. And before we move on, and your interaction with Channel House Audio Tours, if any?
Yes, I did a Bridgetown tour earlier this year. I got to be a tourist, full tourist mode. And I would say that although, yes, although I call myself a townie sometimes, but because there was a point in time I was just always in town with my sister, but I never realized that Bridgetown had so much history after going on this tour. I learned so much. I was just blown away by the hospitality with Deborah and the tour guide that we had that day. I was like, wow, more people should learn the history of Barbados and go to Channel House Tours for that experience, because it was a great experience.
Good. What is interesting though is in the last two persons, when I asked about their experiences with Channel House, they both talk about the exercise part of it.
Yes, it was a lot walking.
You did not mention and you're the fitness expert, so that means that it was not that much exercise.
But the thing is though, I put in a lot of steps. I
Yes,
don't usually walk around that much, but it was a good stroll. It wasn't like an intense thing, so
right.
I
Yes,
I was fine.
it was.
But it was a lot of walking, but I did not mind because learning everything, that walking aspect of that was just in the back of my head. It was like, oh, it's just like me walking up and down in town.
Yes.
Because I said before, I used to be in town a lot. Just I don't know what we were doing, but it was just being in town.
Okay, right. So today on Charlotte House, we are going to just say a little bit about our Bridgetown tour and our Bridgetown walking tour. We try to give you on the Bridgetown, the development of a city tour. We give you a sample of the various elements that make up Bridgetown. So you get a bit about its religion, you get a bit about its personalities, you get a bit about its buildings, you get a bit about the spaces. So you get a good rounded concept of what Bridgetown has to offer. And the thing is that we have to do it one of our tours that way because Bridgetown, as Renee said, has so much history. You really cannot tell it all in one tour. So Bridgetown could have like almost 5 tours and you not repeat a lot of the same information or any of the same information because we have so much to tell. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of you join us when we reopen on our Bridgetown tour or one of our other tours. Now, my interaction with React Fitness, as you have heard me say before, exercise is not my friend. And I think her third offer in terms of the mindset, I think that will be the one that I will have to attend first because that is my major challenge, the mindset. And that has always been my entire life. And it may have something to do with my medical condition, but it may also just be I have to get over that hurdle. But last year, Renee put together a workshop about meal planning. And I decided I'm going to go check out this workshop. And it was actually pretty good. The food that she shared with us was awesome. We had samples of the food, but it was awesome. And out of that, the one dish that I remembered that really stood out for me was the sweet potato, the grilled sweet potato, I think it was. And I think I've actually done that since then. I've had that as one of my meals since then. And I think I actually have some in the freezer now because I did it, I freeze it so that I pretty much have, when I'm cooking, because it's not one of my giftings. So when I am in a mood to cook, I cook and I freeze. So I still have some of that in the fridge. Not from last year. Let's make sure we get that straight. Not from last year, but I do have some in the freezer. So really and truly, even the meal plan, although I haven't done the exercise or that, with React Fitness, at least I got something out of what they offer in terms of the meal plan. So that was really good for me. And I'm sure there were other persons that did that. Now, Renee had said earlier that women have a tendency to put others first. And sometimes you would think as a single person, then who are the others? But as a single entrepreneur, your business becomes that other that is even worse in a sense than sometimes family, because you find sometimes it's easier to say to a family member no or later, but for business we seem to be driven by the fact that we can never say no and take that time to take care of ourselves, take that time to eat properly, take that time to exercise, take that time to rejuvenate our brains, because we're so much into go because this business has to work and it has to succeed, and the goalpost keeps moving. So regardless of what stage you're at, you keep moving the goalpost, so you keep moving yourself. So I just want persons to recognize it's not just those who have a family or other commitments in terms of like church or community or something like that, but that we too, with businesses especially, that becomes a big child that we need to take care of. So
Yes,
go ahead.
right, because I would even say here in terms of how React Fitness has evolved, especially this year, it is based on the same thing that you said in terms of business. So for me, there was a point earlier when I was starting my business, I was still working a 9 to 5, do the 9 to 5, then work with clients, and then coming home to then do admin stuff with the business or studying or stuff like that. I started to actually break down. It got to a point that my father looked at me and would tell me, "You looking haggard." And
Wow.
I would feel as though I'm getting a flu. And I realized that, you know what, I had to put in some downtime because it was not beneficial for me. And you know, for your parents, if father to say that you're looking old, and I think I was probably in my earlier 30s. And I was like, nah, something got to give. So it is important because I don't have any children or anything like that. But as Deborah said, a business can be very, very, very demanding. And it is sometimes hard to say no because you're thinking, all right, I gotta get this thing done. I have to get this thing done. I can't push it back to another day. So rest is super important. Play is super important when you have a business.
Yes, and I know play is one of your constant reminders. So let's
Yes.
hear some more about this play. What should we do, knowing that that is our background in terms of we're going to take this time now to say, okay, we have the extra time, so we're going to work, 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 work. But again, we don't do just what you're saying that we should do. We're not eating properly still. We're not exercising still. We're not playing still. We have just shifted now to constant work. What do you have to say to us during this time?
I think that during this time where we think we have extra time, we should do some sort of scheduling. Same way that you would keep an appointment if you have to go to the dentist, or if you have to go to your OBGYN, or if you have to go to the hairdresser, you know that you set the appointment and you schedule everything around that. I think that everybody should treat their downtime as an appointment, a non-negotiable thing. So when you start to put things into place, even if you want to say to put down, I have an appointment with Renee, for example, you
Right.
know that you're not going to want to miss that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is some of the things that I have just told people generally to book things as appointments. And even if you want to use my name as it so it will seem legit, you can do that. And I have even gone to the point that if you want to use my name, just let me know when your appointment is supposed to be. I would remind you and I will call you and tell you, you have an appointment with me tomorrow. So please let me know if you're showing up. I am known to do that. I am known to turn up at people's houses. Like, for example, I had a client, she was so concerned about the number on the scale and not really paying attention to the fact that her clothes were fitting differently. And she was dropping size and she had energy and stuff like that. But because the scale told her that that is not what is happening, she was so consumed with the scale. So I asked her where she lived and I turned it at her house and I took her scale. That's 2 years now I have her scale in my cupboard. Yes. I get extreme and extra like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, so if you want intervention, I will do that.
Hold on. Do you know where I live?
Hmm?
Do you know where
I don't know where you live yet, but that is me. So back to the thing that I was saying, you have to schedule that time for yourself. Put it in your diary like a reminder or something like that. Schedule the time for yourself. That's what I would say to most people to do.
Okay, but I think this is where your third element comes in because I know that I actually do that. In my phone, I have my alarm to go off at 11 o'clock to drink water, 4 o'clock to drink water, this particular time to move, that particular time to exercise, that particular time to go for a walk. The alarm goes off, I swipe and continue what I'm doing. What do you say to someone who is as hard airs, for lack of another way of describing myself? And I know I can say that because I'm not the only one.
Yes,
but that is not an excuse. We should not.
It's not an excuse,
right?
But the reality is, I have realized that from running different challenges, when persons have to actually show up and show proof of what they are doing, which we call accountability,
right?
They actually do what they're supposed to do.
So accountability is the difference.
Yes, and being in a community as well really helps. So, for example, I have a free challenge running right now, and I just set simple tasks for people to do. So it's nothing complicated where you'll be like, oh my gosh, Renee, I want me to do all these things. I can't get this done. All they have to do based on the day of the task is to show proof that they did it. And some of them would have told me that usually they would not even try to make sure that they have some sort of vegetable on their plate, but because they have to actually check in and show up for themselves, they're actually following through. So it is about having a community and just building habits day by day.
Mhm.
I'm going to say that you don't always stick on a habit, but
Yeah.
if it is that you like things like, for example, I use a water app and it has this little thing that looks like a bubble. If I do not drink water, it looks like a raisin dry up and like I don't know. So it's like I have to feed this thing water. So if people also start to gamify some things, that is another way that you can also start to progress and stick to things. You have to keep repeating things day in and day out. And once they are simple, satis- satisfying, and sustainable, that is when changes will start. So it will say just start with one thing
Yeah.
instead of trying to do all of these
Right.
different things and be
Right.
overwhelmed and then saying to yourself, well, I ain't getting none of these things do. I am a failure. I can't follow through. Start with
Yes.
one thing only. And even if you have somebody to check into on a daily basis, like you could get a friend and you all could be checking in with one another. Do something like that. That is one of the best ways for you to start to stick to the things that you know that you should be sticking to, but you're finding difficulties doing that.
Yes. I wrote down the water app. I think I'll start with that.
Yeah.
Because that's something that I used to do pretty well. I used to drink my water pretty well, and in recent times I have not been because I find when my allergies are up, drinking plain water is a little challenge. So I have to drop a little lemon or something in it. But and then as a result of that, I then got caught up with the ginger beer flavored water, and I want to go back to the pure water. But yeah, it is difficult with the allergies because then you don't, your mouth, the water then is a difficult taste when you're having
Mm-hmm.
your sinus issues and all that kind of stuff. But I want to get back there. So I think I'm going to check out that water app and offline. I'll find out from you which one you think so that I wouldn't waste time looking for the app and then get discouraged or distracted and never get around to doing something because that happens. That's the reality.
Yeah.
You're looking for the water app and then you see something else and that's shinier and you go off on that.
Yeah, shiny object like, ooh, what does this button do? So it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
But this one has more bells and whistles than that one and
Mm-hmm.
whatever else. And then in the end, you lose the whole momentum. So for those persons who can find out from, can recommend an app or to reduce that distraction time, that would be great as well. So I'll definitely be checking you out afterwards to find out about what a good water app to use and just use that, not going
Yes.
shopping.
No, just no shopping. Just use something that is simple. As I explain what it does,
Right.
that's it. And you can set the amount of water that your goal is for the day. So if you know that you could only get in 8 ounces of water, start with that
Ah,
instead of saying that XYZ said that I'm supposed to be drinking X amount of water per day. And if you know within yourself that you can't get that, then why try to do something like that?
right.
Start small so
And
that when you get that mastered, you're like, I'm a boss for this. Bring on the next challenge.
yeah.
That is what I think.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's actually pretty good advice because we always seem to set the standard so high and then we can't meet it and then we get discouraged and that's the end of it. So as you
Exactly.
said, start where you're at. Now, I know for the season you've been doing some sessions on Zoom. And I thought to myself when I recognized that we had agreed to Thursday, I was like, oh my goodness, because I thought, why not have you do a like 2 second session to let people see what you do? But then I was like, today's Monday, Thursday. I can't have Renee with her soca knocking down on Monday, Thursday. So, so what we have to do, and then now, is that next week we're gonna have to have a soca session, okay? So that person
No problem. Well, the thing is that I do have part of the same challenge I'm running. We're gonna have a dance session on Saturday. So I don't know if that is
Okay,
clashing with anything, but it is
okay,
Saturday. So I will
okay.
share
You
that
can do
information with
that,
you.
or you can give us the link to that, so that
Yeah,
person
I will give you links to that.
can come in, and we'll put it up with this presentation, so persons can join in on Saturday for that session. Because really
Yes.
and truly, at this time, when we're going back to the BBC's old exercise sessions, which are really
Yes.
hilarious. But let me tell you,
Those are giving me life.
listen, when I saw one of those, one of the exercises he wanted people to do yesterday, when he went all the way back with his legs, I thought, oh my goodness, he wasn't talking to me. He was talking to fitness professionals. So I'm very happy that persons like you do things that the rest of us can do. But I'm just thinking for you,
Exactly.
many years, 30 years down the line, and someone is looking back at your video, what would they be seeing? What would they be saying at that time?
Yeah, they're probably seeing a lot walking up. That's what they will be seeing for sure.
And that's good because oftentimes, and I come down from the part of the biblical side or this Christian side, we've often been told that walking up and those type of things are sinful and whatever. But for me, I think that that is a movement that is very much out of our heritage, because
Exactly.
without any teaching, as long as the rhythm starts, our body responds to the rhythm. And this is
Hmm.
because our body, we are tuned into a particular beat within the music, and we immediately start to move. And I always found it unfortunate that some persons have taken that movement into a sexual space, because I don't think it necessarily goes naturally into a sexual space, but we have sexualized it. And therefore, that may be one of the reasons why, for example, someone may want to do your session or should do your session because of the movement of the body, but they don't because they've seen it as a sexual activity that is taboo, or they shouldn't be taking part in at that particular level, that type of stuff. And so what do you think of that type of thought process? I mean, that is mine. I've always been, for example, I've always been one to say that the church should have been involved with crop over from the beginning. And I don't think we would have been at the stage we're at now. And that doesn't mean that we take away the fun from it, but that we
Right.
understand the reasoning for the things that we do and therefore can display it well. So in terms of your sessions with the walking up, and so we say the walking up and we think of it as bad in some circles.
Right.
Well,
Yes.
I don't necessarily see it that way. What do you
Mhm.
think?
Yeah, because I know that that is a concern with some people. So usually I put out the disclaimer up front. This is not for conservative people, because I know that whole thought frame where people might see it and say, "Oh my gosh, that's sinful. Why is she doing this?" and stuff like that. But for me, I understand where they're coming from, because I know that I party. I ain't gonna lie, I party.
Mhm.
And some of these things that I see people doing at the parties, I know that I will never do that. I do not like that.
Right.
So, and some people do actually sexualize it, and it's like, okay, no. But for me, it is all about really enjoying the music and being free. And it's not only that we just strictly just do walking up, it is incorporated into some of the normal exercises that people would do. So, like doing squats and lunges and push ups and things like that. That is what I incorporate as well, because I do realize that some women are very intimidated to go in a gym setting.
Yes.
Some of them do not like to lift weights, because there's this whole notion that lifting weights are going to make them big like a man. But
Mm.
I can tell y'all women, no, lifting weights will not make you big like a man unless you are on special health perks. Okay, so
Okay.
putting that out there.
Okay.
But I realized that the dancing and walking up and stuff like that, it is also about hip mobility as well,
Yes.
because sometimes women do have issues in the pelvic floor region. Could be from
Mhm.
sitting too much, congestion and stuff like that. And I will even share a little bit of my story that I realized that for the period that I had just now, I did not have the usual pain on day 4. And there are different things that I did, but one of them was that I was moving my base area a lot more.
Wow.
And people do say that sometimes when they exercise that the pain reduces. So it is not just about you thinking that it is a sexual thing. It is more than that. We do so many squats in a workout session. You could do about at least 100 squats. You can't do that in 40 minutes.
Right.
And don't really think about it. But if I was to tell somebody, all right, you have 100 squats to do, normally somebody would say, that means enough squats to do though. No, no. If I was to tell you to do lunges, they'll be like, that means enough lunges to do. No. But when you put music with it, even working out and doing those things and different variations, you don't think about it. It's only afterwards that you're like, yeah, my legs hurting me though. what really went on? So exactly, it's like a shocker that's like, all right, I worked my legs today in that session. I did not intend to do that, but that is what happened. So that is what I would say. If you are just thinking that working up is just a sexual thing, that will happen in a party scene. But in the sessions that I run, it is not about that. It is about being in an area where you can freely express yourself, being in a judgment-free zone, being in an area where you can release your stress. And even if you're just a person that just want to work up and find that that's the only way that you're going to get in exercise and movement, that is what that session is all about.
Okay.
It's about freedom.
Right. Coming out though from what you just shared, what I would challenge you with is to see how you can present the medical or the physical benefits of the movements that we call work up. You understand what I'm saying? We call it work up, but those are movements that are actually beneficial, either as it helps in a menstrual cycle or whether it helps in hip and those parts of the body that don't normally get movement because we just figure it has to be stationary all the time, and the possibilities of those areas then becoming seized up that we have to get hip replacement surgeries and all of those different things down the line. So if we can probably, I would challenge you to suggest to bring out the benefits of the movement of the body in that area and the health benefits of doing so as one of your primary selling points, especially for those conservatives, to get them, because it's almost a case of trying to rescue them from themselves. And I don't put myself in that category because, as I said before, I fully understand where it comes from. I don't jump on the some bandwagons that kind of say that certain things are evil. I try to understand a particular situation, and then, because interestingly enough, we have work up as being evil, but I've been seeing a dance that is, I think, Spanish in influence, that is highly sexual in its execution.
A lot of them.
and they are welcomed as artistic, as beautiful pieces of movement and art. But for some reason, we seem to want to have the African rhythm. I'm going to go there, the African rhythm as being something that's evil. So maybe this is our time to make a change for that. And I'm going to charge you with that responsibility of bringing that to the fore. Our time is running. Accepted, great.
Yeah.
Our time is coming close to an end. So I want to find out what fun things you'll be doing besides the fitness and the soca sessions. What fun things have you been doing during this season?
Well, I would say, I'm dancing. That's the main thing that I'm doing. I'm dancing, but there are different things that I realize, that things that we used to do as children. One of them is shadows, dancing with shadows. So at nighttime or even when the sun is setting, you have a shadow that's going to be casted on the wall. You can start to do all different movements. That's something that I was experimenting with. I was like, wait, this is something that we used to do as a child. even going outside and just sitting down outside, enjoying a sunset,
Mm.
that is the most beautiful thing. Going, if you, I would sometimes walk up and down my gap. My cats will usually come with me, but everybody probably know by now they walk with me. And I have been going outside and trying my hand with gardening,
Okay.
mainly aloe plants, because they're standing up different. The younger plants, they call them aloe pups. So they're sending them out. So I have been trying to transplant them. So those are the things that I have been kind of doing to keep myself sane.
Mhm.
And I will tell you, with the dance sessions and doing Zoom, that is one of the things that is keeping me sane.
Good.
So I would say to people, make sure that you're still interacting and actually seeing somebody, because it does make a very big difference in how you're going to be able to cope with what is going on right now.
Yes, yes. And for me, what I did last night, the first time in years, was I sat on my patio,
And
and
there's a full moon.
it was a full moon, but the neighborhood was so quiet because everyone was inside, except for my neighbor who decided to run in front of his house. And then when he realized I was outside, he ran back inside. And I was like, come on, man, don't let me stop you. But it was good because at some points I thought I could even hear the dog walking. That was so quiet that you can even
Mm-hmm.
hear the dog's footsteps. And I thought it took almost 2 weeks to get me to the patio on a night. I went up there with my glass of watered flavor with ginger beer.
Yeah.
And yes, I did take the phone, but I'm thinking I probably wouldn't do that next time so that I could just simply enjoy the peacefulness of outside. It was cool as well. And before I did sit down, I actually did 3 squats.
Yeah, that's a start.
So
That's a
that's a
start.
start.
That is a start.
I did
That
I
is a
did
start.
3 squats, and I think I did about 7 or 10 kickbacks. It is the when you fold it
Hmm.
back. Right. I did a few of
Yeah.
those. So at least I made some attempt of some kind of movement last night. Not because I was coming to talk to you today and I wanted to report, but the body really was saying, girl, you need to do something other than walking from the office to the bedroom and to the dining room, you know? So really and truly, that was what I did yesterday as my relaxing or change in pace activity.
Hmm.
So yeah, it will change, I guess, every day what we will do. So thank
Yeah.
you so much. Go ahead.
All right. And once you just move your body, it does not have to be any structured program, anything like that. Move your body. Just move around. Make sure you're drinking water and try to de-stress and come down from everything. This is a good time for people to reflect on things and see where they can change things, because people have time now. You
Yeah,
have time, so use the time, use
use
it
it
to
wisely.
reconnect with people and stuff like that. So
Yes.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Even if it's not a full out fun thing, you have the time to reconnect with yourself. That's one of the main things that everybody should be doing.
Yes, yes, yes. So that's a good parting word. Reconnect with yourself, and everyone who's been listening to me from the beginning. My very first Facebook Live, my very first comment in this space was connecting with yourself and making using this time wisely to develop you. Because when everything is done, you're going to be the one going back out, and the change that the world needs is the change
Mhm.
that you have been able to achieve during this time. So thank you so much, Renee and React
Thank you for
Fitness,
having
for
me.
joining us this
Thank you.
morning. And we look forward to seeing the link to your business.
Session on
You
Saturday.
can
Yeah.
share and your
Mhm.
link to the water app if you need if you we can do that. I'm not too sure if you're allowed to do that, but if not, I'll just tell people how I've been doing as a result of this presentation. So thank you so much, and we look forward to bringing you our next edition in a few days' time of the Curfew Live. See you
Yeah.
guys.